the general types of investments. There are actually two types. First is real assets. When you talk about real assets, these are the tangible investments that you can choose from. For example, real estate or precious metals, precious gems, could also be collectibles like artworks, paintings, etc. The second type of investment is financial assets. These are the intangibles. Usually, these are represented by a form of document or certificates. Like for example, your investments in mutual funds, in unit investment trust funds, stocks, or even those that you have in your insurance plans. Now that we know that there are so many options for us to put in our money, but how come there are still so many of us Filipinos who do not make it financially? I will be running through 5 important reasons why people don't make it financially. Of course, on top of the list would be procrastination. Many think that they will always have the time to do this. People always say that they don't have the right resources, or some would even say, I'm still too young to start investing, and think about all of these things. Worse is, they always think that they're always healthy to be able to work hard and be able to get that enough funds to sustain them and their everyday expenses. The second reason is the fear of the unknown. People do not start their investment journey because they're scared. They're scared of something that they're not familiar with. We were brought up with the idea that we always need to save in the banks. Little do we know that there are other investment instruments out there that offer higher yields for us. Like for example, investing in mutual funds, investing in the stock market, and the like. So this fear of the unknown paralyzes most of the Filipinos from starting their own investment accounts. The third reason is overspending. Most of us Pinoys do not follow a strict budget. Instead of delayed gratification, we always want instant gratification for our luhos, for our purchases that are not necessities. We have a wrong sense of entitlement such that every time we receive our salaries for the month, we think of enjoyment first rather than saving. Fourth reason is get-rich-quick schemes. That's also one of the main reasons why most Filipinos get into all of these scams, because we want easy money. We don't want to wait. We're not patient enough to let our money grow through time. We want that feeling of earning or of getting rich quickly. We want instruments that give us highest yields in the shortest possible time, which is very dangerous. And last but not the least reason is dependence. We're overly dependent when it comes to our children. We use them like our retirement funds, which is so wrong. Let's not put them the burden of taking care of us when we become older. Let's take care of ourselves by investing while we still can. Dependence also comes in many ways, comes in many other forms, like we're too dependent when it comes to our retirement programs in our companies, that we are too reliant on all of these things that we don't or we no longer think about investing aggressively. And those are the top 5 reasons why people don't make it financially. Let's be wary and be very cautious of all of these warning signs so that in the future, we can all be assured that we can all live comfortably and we become financially independent. Now, let's talk about getting into details. How do we start this investment journey? How do we properly do our financial planning process? The first step is for us to identify our goals. Always begin with an end in mind, as they say. You'll never make it to your destination if you don't know where you're headed to in the first place, right? The first crucial step in financial planning is really this, to set up your goals and objectives. We've talked about this earlier. What are these funds for? Is it for your retirement, for your child's future education, your dream house, your dream car, travel goals, and so much more. Try to also see and identify your time horizon. How much time's left for you to grow your funds? And of course, your risk appetite. You have to be able to know how to match it with the right investment instruments. The second step is for you to have that clear inventory. The problem with us Pinoys is that we always rely on our memories. We don't have a clear list of everything that we own and everything that we owe. It's very important that we get to list down in detail all of our financial assets and all of our real assets. And not only that, even our obligations, so that we have a very clear picture to begin with, and we know, and this can guide us into making better decisions financially. Third step is develop your plan. At this stage, you really need the help of a professional like a financial planner, advisor, or a property specialist for that matter, because in this stage, you will really have to identify what your investment options are. These days, it's too complicated because you're not only talking about bank products, but there are things like mutual funds, unit investment trust funds, equity-laced funds, direct stock trading, VUL products, and so much more. So the guidance and the direction that will be provided to you by all of these experts are very crucial. You'll also have to identify the kind of investment diversification and portfolio allocation that you'd want to happen in your own funds. You have to be very honest and candid with your financial advisor because it will guide him towards the right portfolio or asset allocation for you. The fourth step is implementation. Again, education without execution is simply entertainment. And that's from the very words of our boss, Mr. Rex Mendoza. If we don't begin to set up all of these investment accounts, then we will just be tempted to procrastinate again. Little do we know, we don't have much time left to let our funds grow. Remember, investing is a process and not a sprint. We really need time to let our money grow and to be able to maximize the earnings potential of all of our assets. Let's also plan continuity when it comes to our investment programs. There are a lot of facilities available already so that we can force all of these savings. And last is evaluation. Let us remember that all the goals, all the objectives and budgets that we set at the onset doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be permanent. It's as crucial as well that we get to reevaluate these things from time to time and reassess if they are still applicable to our current situation. Ideally, we need to reevaluate all of these plans every 2 to 3 years because it is also within this same period of time that most of the changes happen when it comes to our circumstances, like all of a sudden we become married or have children or transfer to different places of residences or have new jobs, etc. As a final note, we have to remember that diversification is still key to achieving financial success in the future. Why? Because it helps us participate in the earnings potential of many other investment instruments in the market, while at the same time managing the risk exposure of our money. So that's it. I hope you've learned something new today in this very basic financial planning seminar. And if you haven't yet, I hope we can invite you all to subscribe to our official YouTube channel, Rampver Financials, and tap the bell button for our future videos and other important updates. Again, this has been Jung Fernando, inviting you all to please message us if you have any inquiries with regard investments, insurance, and the like, and we will be glad to assist you. Stay safe and God bless.